Welcome back. In this particular video, I'd like to discuss the meetings, and we'll touch a little bit about the steps and talk about that. And then in later videos, we're going to talk about each step more in depth and break it down so that each of you can use this information in a way that's going to be most helpful to you. Again, each person's situation is different, and although the steps are designed in a general way, how you use it to achieve sobriety and maintain your long-term sobriety is a very individual process. So, again, whatever works for you is okay. Just don't drink. Now, for the meetings, I can't stress enough that is really key in maintaining and achieving long-term sobriety. The reason I say that is because you really have to understand that we're dealing with a disease that is going to eventually kill you if you don't get it under remission and recover from this condition. And that's the reality that we're faced with. Just like cancer is going to end up killing you, or diabetes will end up killing you if you don't stay on top of it and manage it, so will alcoholism. And one of the biggest problems that I've seen in people in the program is they stop going to meetings. And then they can't understand why their life starts to unravel again and why they end up in some of the similar situations that they were in before. Well, typically what I've seen with the meetings is people go initially when they're in pain and in a crisis and things are completely out of control and they have no other options. And I've seen people come in, they attend meetings until they get comfortable. And then when they get comfortable and things start to settle down and life starts to become a little more pleasant, they stop going. And I can't tell you how many times I've watched people come and go out of the program and relapse because they just don't want to go to the meetings. Now, most meetings last about an hour, some an hour and a half, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Is if you can make it to a meeting a day, that's 1 hour out of your day. And I don't know about you, but I spent many, many hours a day in bars, nightclubs, or drinking. So when I look at the amount of time that I spent drinking versus the amount of time I go to meetings, it's not really that big of an inconvenience. I know we're all busy. We've all got different schedules, and we've got other issues going on, and we got a life to deal with. But again, we're talking a life or death situation, and that's really, again, how I like to approach it, because that's really the reality of it. That's the truth. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what the truth is and what my experience has been and what I've learned from the program and from people that have gone before me. And with that, I'm just going to say, if you can make it to a meeting a day, that would be great. A lot of people will tell you, oh, you need to make 90 meetings in 90 days. Well, again, if you can do it, great. If your schedule permits, great. But again, the more you can go to, the better, because you're setting the foundation for your sobriety and how to maintain it. Now, the steps go along with the meetings, because as you attend meetings, you're going to start to hear people talk about the steps and how they approach them and how things have turned out and how their life is different because of their participation. Now, AA is not one of those programs where you just show up, plop down in a chair, and then everything just gets handed to you and everything just magically gets better. It doesn't work that way. It works when each of us come into the rooms and decide that we're ready to take certain steps and change our lives for the better. So, meetings, now the steps, there's 12 of them, and they need to be worked in chronological order. I know a lot of people, they go to step 1 and then they want to bounce around because this looks like it's easy, and I think I'll try a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and they end up with this tossed salad, and it's just not exactly the way it's designed to be practiced. So, each step needs to be taken in chronological order, and it's that way for a reason. And the reason is so that you will be successful. And because the experience of other members before us has shown that working them out of order tends to increase the likelihood of relapse. And relapse is not a good thing, because each time you pick up that first drink and you start your next binge, things are going to continue to get worse. And at some point I've heard people say, well, I don't want to go back to those AA meetings because they just didn't work for me. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's probably good, or probably about the approach. If somebody doesn't quite approach it the right way, then the results are not going to be right. And we'll get into that later, but again, meetings, steps, talk to other people, and start finding out how they did it. Again, if I want to learn how to cook, and I don't know how to cook, then I need to find out what the basics are. What are the fundamentals? How do I do this? How do I do that? And the best way to do it is to find somebody who has experience at that. And then I start going and I learn hands-on how to cook so that I don't burn the house down. And as I learn little by little, I get to put that into my knowledge base, and I get to use it and draw on it when those times come up when I need to cook. So again, very simple concepts here. Not always easy, but very simple, and we need to keep it very simple for a reason. And with that, our next video, we're going to talk a little more about the disease, because that seems to be a real big stumbling point for a lot of people. And then after that, we're going to start talking more about each step individually and what that means and some of the key features, and then we'll just keep building on this as we go, and eventually we'll get through all the 12 steps together, and we'll talk about it and what they mean. And the goal at the end is that you have a good idea of what it all means, and you can, again, make a decision on what's going to work best for you. So I'll see you in the next video.